If you're on your alcohol-free adventure, you must know this secret. It is vital, not only to your continued sobriety, if you're on that adventure, but also the secret to a life well lived. Before we get there, just a reminder, my name is Andy Ramage. I'll be your guide on this conversation today. And also to remind you, this episode is brought to you by my Coach Business School, or my Coach Business School. This is the home of successful coaches. Everything I talk about, if you listen to me on my lives or you like these podcasts, really can be learned and embodied in the most practical way by training as a coach. That's why it's the greatest self-development course you'll ever take, because you get to learn and immerse yourself in this incredible knowledge that you then share with others and help coach others to achieve their successes in life, whatever they might be. And in doing so, you're learning the exact same skills and really embodying them so that you can achieve the goals and dreams that you've always had. It's the ultimate win of becoming a coach. And if you're even remotely interested in this, on the 31st of March, I have a free workshop. All you have to do is go to coachbusiness.school, so not .com, .school, and you'll see a big button there and it says free webinar or free workshop. Click on that, enter your details, and come and join me live, online, on Zoom, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about coaching. How much you can realistically earn, who's it for, why you can leverage your life and career experience to create something that is meaningful and purposeful for the balance of your life. It's the perfect encore career, and you can do it from anywhere in the world. For me, it's the greatest gift. So do check that out, the free workshop on the 31st. If you go to coachbusiness.school, you'll find out all the details. All right, today's conversation, the secret, not only to this alcohol-free adventure, but also to create a life that you love. And it's this. You'll hear me talking a lot about these on my morning lives. And by the way, just a quick aside, thank you to all those that are joining me on those lives. Hopefully that's you as well, listening to this at 7 a.m. on Instagram and around 7:10, 7:15 on Facebook. Basically, as soon as I finish the Instagram, I go onto Facebook. And it's been lovely getting that community back again. I've been connecting with some people that I haven't connected with in 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, bearing in mind, at this well over a decade, I've seen so many day ones, and now I get to see 7 years and 8 years and 9 years and 10 years pop up on my radar, as well as all those that are just dipping their toe into this alcohol-free adventure and this adventure of self-development in many ways. And I'm a big believer in that. I think what we're doing here together, really using the excuse, and I'm going to give it the excuse title, that is to go alcohol-free, it gets you in the room. I've said that for a long while. Like, it was questioning my relationship with alcohol in many ways that really heightened my learning. I was really lucky that 2 years prior to that, though, I trained as a coach, more by fluke than skill. I had no intention of ever becoming a coach, but in learning that skill and that knowledge, as I mentioned earlier, and trying to help others overcome obstacles and achieve goals, I started to really understand how my brain worked. That's what we're going to talk about today. And eventually was able to crack the alcohol code because of that knowledge. But then when those two things came together, both being alcohol-free and that understanding of how our minds worked, it's been rocket fuel ever since. Rocket fuel to my existing career, rocket fuel to my relationships, rocket fuel to my happiness, for want of a better word. The combination of those two things, understanding how your mind works and being alcohol-free, for me, is the secret to a life well lived. Now, there's a secret within the secret that I'm going to get to, and I've been talking a lot about this on the lives, and it's this. The life that we lead really is a reflection of the beliefs that we hold. Now, why alcohol-free is such a wonderful petri dish of learning is because in overcoming your relationship with alcohol, you have to challenge your beliefs about alcohol. At some point, you've believed that alcohol was all upside. And through the process of challenging that and taking breaks and having a lived experience of, is that really true for me? You realise part way along that journey, and we call it the alcohol-free magic, that actually what it pretended to offer, it takes away more, and your beliefs begin to change. That's basically what's going on if you think about it. Let's look at it like this. Let's imagine 3 people walk into a bar, and in front of them is their favourite drink, whatever that is for them, right? Person A walks into that bar and they love a drink, right? They're still in that space that maybe you were at one point in your life. Late teens, early 20s, can't see any real downside to drinking at all. It all feels like upside. To them, the event, being this drink on the bar, they might experience like emotions of excitement because their beliefs or map of the world at the moment are all upside for alcohol. Those emotions of excitement might draw them to take action to pick up the drink and take a sip. Let's say another person walks into that bar and they walk into that bar looking amazing, like $1 million, totally full of confidence, just feeling good. There's an energy about them. And let's say through their beliefs, a bit like mine, they've decided that alcohol does nothing for them, right? Why on earth would I drink that when all it does is get in the way of me achieving my goals and dream? No interest. So they might experience that same event of that drink in front of them at the bar, and for them it might mean nothing. They might experience emotions of disinterest. They just walk straight past the drink. A third person might walk into that bar and they're ambivalent about their relationship with alcohol. They're still in that love-hate place that we've all been in, or maybe are still in. And in their mind, their beliefs are torn. On one hand, they believe alcohol does nothing for them and it's starting to create negatives and consequences in their life. And on the other hand, they still quite like a beer with their mates or a glass of wine with friends, and they're ambivalent. Now for them, through that belief mindset, it's a 50-50. They might look at that event, the drink on the bar, and they might be able to muster the willpower to say no, or they might not, and they have a drink, or they don't. And I think this is so symbolic of our relationship with alcohol. It's not a drinking problem. For most of us, it's a thinking problem. If we wind the clock back a bit, the event was the same for all three people. The drink didn't magically change for each person, but they had a completely different experience of the drink based on their beliefs about drinking. For one person, it was all upside, can't wait to have a drink. The other person, like me, was like, why the hell would I? And the third person was torn in between. The drink didn't change each time. All that changed were their beliefs. This is the secret to a life well lived, not just the secret to transforming your relationship with alcohol, because it's the same game wherever you go. This was the secret for me. When I really started to dive into behavioural change and understand how our brain worked and our mind worked, and realised how to help people transform their relationship with alcohol and my own, I realised the same skill set was perfect for optimal performance in every domain of life. So I just picked up that same learning and then started to work with elite business professionals in a coaching capacity. Had nothing to do with alcohol anymore, and everything with helping them manage their minds more optimally to achieve their dreams and goals. I then started working with professional athletes, of which I work with loads at the moment. The real high-end footballers, same game. I'm not coaching them around alcohol-free. They don't need to be coached on that. They don't drink. I coach them around managing their mindset because it's a beliefs game. It's the same skill. That's why I love alcohol-free, because it gets you into that space and place. It opens your mind to new insights and ways of thinking and learning. You start to manage your mind a little bit better. You understand how it works, that it's a beliefs game, and then you can leverage that to change your beliefs about everything in life. This is the secret to optimal performance, to achieving your dreams and goals. It's not a reality situation. It's what you choose to believe about the reality situation that's going to dictate how you feel, i.e. the emotions you experience, and the actions that follow. This is the greatest secret I'm continually trying to articulate and get across to people. Don't see it begin and end with alcohol. This is just the start. It's just the start of you learning to manage your mind in a way that's more optimal. Now, back to something I said at the start. When alcohol is in your life, it's really difficult to manage your mind, isn't it? Think about it. Those days you wake up tired, anxious, your sleep's been destroyed, your neurochemistry's been completely blown apart by alcohol. How do you feel on those days? Very often it's dark inside our minds. It's very hard to do those nice, nimble gymnastics of the mind to paint that positive perspective. We get stuck, entrenched in the negative. We go to survival mode. Whereas when alcohol's gone, we can get into thrival mode. It's my favourite word that's not a word. but you know what I mean. And that's really important to acknowledge and note. So when I'm working with the elite performers, even though I might not be working with them regards anything alcohol, I do make that connection for them so they can see it themselves and know, oh, if I do decide to go out and have a drink, it will impact my mind management. Because it's very difficult to do when your neurochemistry is completely disrupted and you've barely slept because alcohol's destroyed the quality of your sleep, and now you're feeling anxious and dark. And there's that like consequence of maybe shame and regret or something that might have happened during that drinking session. Like, that's difficult to manage, right? So you get stuck. Whereas when it's gone and then you learn how to manage your mind better, the whole world opens up to you. Everything starts to change. You realize you've got the ability to paint the beliefs you need to paint to achieve the goals you want to achieve, because it's a beliefs game. The only thing that's ever going to get in the way of you achieving your goals and dreams is what's inside your mind. It's not the externals. Of course, there's some caveats around that, but it's so true. There are people right now in 1,000 times worse circumstances than anyone listening to this podcast that has also then managed, through managing their mind, to achieve the most incredible things. You see it all the time if you look for it. And it's not a circumstantial thing, i.e. things on the outside, it's just things that have changed on the inside. And back to the great Stoic philosophers that I follow and I read so much, the one thing you've got control over, truly control over, are your beliefs, are your mind, your perspectives. And by shaping your perspectives, you shape how you feel and the actions that follow. This is the secret to not only transforming your relationship with alcohol, but to achieving the goals and dreams of your life, to smiling more, to radiating your joy, because it doesn't matter how chaotic the world is or how challenging it is. It's going to be your beliefs that dictate how you feel about all those challenges and the chaos. And you can't control the challenges or the chaos, but you can control what you choose to believe about the challenges and chaos. This is the secret to life well lived. This is what the great philosophers have been telling us for 2,000 years. And the secret gateway into this, for me, is removing alcohol. Because it gets you in the room having conversations like this. Maybe this is the first time you've heard something like this and you're thinking penny drop. No concept of that before. And it was alcohol that got you in the room having this conversation. What a gift. I feel so grateful to my relationship with alcohol. It was alcohol that has allowed me to see things I never would have seen in the removal of it, that have gifted me with the same set of mind tools, as it were, to apply to every domain of my life ever since. And I urge you to do the same. It is the master skill of all skills. So I thought I'd share that little conversation with you today. Hopefully you'll come and join me on those live, 7 a.m. Instagram, 7:15 on the Facebook, to reflect on these type of learnings, much more mind-based as well as alcohol-free based, because I believe the combination of those two things is the secret to a life well lived. And if you really want to learn this and embody it in such a way that you could coach other people or teach other people, come and join me. I have a free workshop, live online Zoom. We can get to meet each other in the virtual real world. You just go to coachbusiness.school, not .com, .school, coachbusiness.school. You'll see the big button, free webinar, free workshop. Click that, put your details in, and then come and join me on the 31st of March. We'll have a great conversation about how you can instill and install this learning into your beautiful brain so you can live the life you want to lead. And if you can create that learning in such a way that it helps you accelerate your existing career or just level up your self-development so you feel better, look better, smile more, what a gift. And then if you can make that the thing that you do in the world, part-time or full-time, that adds value to other people's lives and get paid to do so, for me, that's one of the ultimate wins. So do check that out, coachbusiness.school, free webinar. We'll have a bit of fun. You'll learn a ton of stuff. And I shall see you back on here for another conversation this time next week. Until next time, your coach, Andy.